shit together. Let's start again. They're smarter than you. They really have their stuff together. They're at the top of their game, and you're wondering, will I ever get there? I'm no one special. Anyone can do what I'm doing. Have any of these thoughts run through your head as a business owner or a career professional? Today's topic, I'm speaking to everyone out there listening. Here's mine. I'm going to share the story that runs through my head. I'm not smart enough. Says the girl who has 2 degrees and 1 certification from a major university while I was working full-time and dealing with some family stuff. You guys, we're talking about imposter syndrome. Hi, I'm Mary Fain Brandt, and this is 15 Minutes of Fain. You can find me here every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your weekly tip on LinkedIn, business, and professional growth. 3 topics. I'd like to give a big shout out to StreamYard. It's the tool that makes it so easy to go live by just hitting the start broadcast and the end broadcast button. It's really cool. You can put, as you see, really cool tickers and banners at the bottom. Let's remove that one because we are alive right now. So the official term for what we're going to talk about today is imposter syndrome. And when loosely defined, it means doubting yourself, doubting your abilities, and feeling like a fake or a fraud. Have you ever felt that way? If you have, you're in good company, because I'm going to read some stats to you later about how many people have actually felt like a fake or a fraud. And that's actually called imposter syndrome. You know, we think, who am I to be called a speaker, a coach, a teacher, or an expert? That's the one that always gets me. As an expert, I always feel like you know everything, right? Why would someone pay me for my services? First, stop comparing yourself to everybody out there. It's something that we all do when we start a business or maybe a new job. Will I fill the shoes? Will I be smart enough? Can I learn the new things at my new job? Everyone has their own journey to get to their destination, whether it's a college degree, owning a business, being a CEO, or VP of a sales department. The destination might be the same, right? But the journey is yours. Our journeys are different. And so we need to stop right there and recognize that why we might want to be an author, right? Our destination might be the same for other people that are in our network that we know. Our destination might be the same. Anybody out here watching ever want to be an author, or have you written a book? I'd love for you to write author in the comments or need to write a book. Go ahead and just drop that in the comments. Here's the thing. Many high achievers hide this dirty little secret, right? So if you're a high achiever, you might have suffered from imposter syndrome. You know, we're worried, and I say we're worried, right? That we're going to be found out that we're fakes or we're not smart enough. Or my favorite, if I don't have all the answers, I'm not that smart. For years, I felt that if I didn't have the answer to every question put in front of me, then I wasn't smart enough and I was being a fake or a fraud. Now, I want to read this quote. The legendary poet and activist Maya Angelou, who won the Presidential Medal of Freedom and received nominations for a Pulitzer Prize and a Tony Award, once said about herself, I have written 11 books, but each time I think, uh-oh, they're going to find out now. I've run a game on everyone and they're going to find me out. So I want to share that with you guys, that famous people, successful people, really successful people suffer from imposter syndrome. Hey, Linda Ann, need to write a book. Yeah, it's on my list, but it's not do or die for me. I used to think I had to write a book to be seen as a successful business owner. Again, I have to learn not to compare myself with other people. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting to write a book or create a course or build an agency, but we need to make sure that we're doing those things for ourselves and not because we think we have to, because someone else has done that. Mark says, need to write a book. As long as you want to write a book for the right reasons and not because you're having FOMO, fear of missing out, or because other people have done it, so you think that you must do it to be successful, to become known, to get found, to be credible. Seth Godin says the same thing, and I agree. It's Christopher. Hey, Christopher, how you doing? Thanks for joining us today. So to counteract these feelings of FOMO and imposter syndrome, because they kind of go hand in hand. I must do this. I don't want to miss out on opportunity, right? You end up working harder. And when we work harder, sometimes we have burnout. We tend to hold ourselves to higher expectations. Anybody else set the bar like this high? Go ahead and raise your hand. Go ahead and do a thumbs up in the comments. I'm raising my hand because that was me. Everything had to be perfect, right? My expectations were up here. If it wasn't perfect, and if I didn't meet my expectations, who am I? Who am I to be seen as an expert? whether it's at my job or in my business. So has anyone else set expectations that are unattainable or that you can't sustain on an ongoing basis? Imposter syndrome happens to more people than you realize, and I'm going to share some stats with you guys. From people entering college, like that was one of mine, VPs, CEOs, business owners, and many, many more. You might, some things to identify with if you have imposter syndrome, you might have a problem accepting praise on a work project or a compliment from a friend. You might downplay your work, being like, oh, it's no big deal. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, other people have done that. Oh, I was just, so and so said I should do that. So I did. You downplay your work, all the hard work that you put in. Yeah. Russ Hedge, thanks for joining. Imposter syndrome can be a killer. But you can overcome it. You can. And I have 3 tips here in this show. And then you guys know this is 15 minutes of FAIN. We have an audio event where we're going to have a really robust, honest conversation and share stories about imposter syndrome. And you'll be able to come up to the stage and ask me questions or share your story. What is befuddled? Live the life you choose. Yes, yes, yes. But when you don't perceive yourself as worthy, right? Worthy of all that you've accomplished, all that you have learned, you're less likely to seize leadership opportunities. So who here has maybe passed up a leadership opportunity? You don't take the plunge for a new job, or you don't launch a new product in your business because you don't feel worthy of the success. Crazy, right? Because we all want to be successful, and yet we're scared of it. Why are we scared of success? Okay, so I'm going to talk to the entrepreneurs in the audience. According to a study, 84% of entrepreneurs experience imposter syndrome, especially if they become successful leaders. So as an entrepreneur, you're probably already a high achieving person, right? Because it takes a lot to launch a business. So I'm going to say that you're all high achieving individuals. And high achieving individuals suffer from imposter syndrome more than non-high achieving individuals. So here's some stats. We already know it takes an intelligent person, right, to start a business, someone who is driven, sets the goal high, the bar high. But some of these same traits, as I just said, they can lead into that imposter syndrome, right? So when you combine heightened self-awareness and high cognitive ability and an analytical nature, it's a recipe for spotting every flaw and failure. I did this my first few years in business. Anybody else look at every flaw and every mistake that they make and then pick it apart, and not pick it apart to learn from it, but just right? Face palm plant. What did I do? Not how can I fix it, but oh my God, I made a mistake. My life is over. My business is finished. Anybody else ever say that in their life? Here's some facts. Okay, imposter syndrome, as we know, can affect anybody, regardless of job or social status. But as I said, high-achieving individuals experience it the most. It first was described by psychologists in 1978. But according to a 2020 review, and I don't like the stat, it says 9 to 82%. So there's this huge range of people that say that they have imposter syndrome when they were surveyed. It just depends on who was in the survey. But here's the thing. People with imposter syndrome believe that they don't deserve the success that they're getting, right? They may believe about themselves that I can give the impression that I'm more competent than I really am, or I'm afraid my colleagues will discover how little I really know. The fear is of being unmasked and having their perceived phoniness revealed. So I don't believe that anybody here is phony. You like something that I just said, right, Linda Ann? So my fear, as I said, there's 2 fears I have. I'm not smart enough. That happened in college when I was in my master's program. And there's a low percentage of people that actually complete a master's program. I don't know what it is. It used to be really low. I'm sure it's higher now. But I was in that group, so I'm smart enough to get to that. stage, right? But I still have this story in my head that I'm not as smart as everybody around me. That's a whole other show of why. You have to really keep asking the question why you believe that. But the second thing is that if I don't have all the answers, I'm not smart enough. If I'm not smart enough, I'm a fake, right? If I'm a fake, I'm a failure. It just leads down a spiral. What did Mark say? No phony at all. So here are 4 tips to overcoming imposter syndrome. 1, talk about your successes. Let's focus on the positive, right? It's common that we feel we shouldn't brag about our accomplishments, right? Because you don't want to come off as in your face. You don't want to offend somebody. And you definitely don't want to be too full of yourselves. But the truth is, these feelings aren't objective, right? They're just a product of our subconscious conditioning. We need to talk about our successes. Tip 1. Tip 2, notice your achievements. Take inventory of them. Create a I am great folder digitally, or if you're still old school, make a folder. But positive, feedback from people, testimonials, things from your job, reviews. That's what they're called, right? If you don't have that, yes, ask a question. Share your knowledge with others. Another way to overcome imposter syndrome, share your knowledge with others so that you start attracting like-minded individuals, right? And the more in-depth conversations that you have with people, so for me, other LinkedIn trainers, the more I come to learn that they don't know everything either. So when I feel like, oh my gosh, who am I? I don't know all the answers and I don't have a magic formula on LinkedIn for you to, knock it. I have formulas, but the magic one, nobody has, right? So when you surround yourself with people that do what you do and you have authentic, genuine conversations, you learn they're just like you. They might have some of the answers you don't have, but you might have some answers, thoughts, or ideas that they haven't thought about, that they don't have. So talk about what you do to other people, create your own community, and have conversations. And also, I like this one. Your destination might be the same as a colleague, a business owner, a career professional, your boss, your coworker. But remember, your journey will be different. Would I love to be on a TV commercial or on the news? Yes. But am I ready for that? I don't know. Opportunities will come when you're ready for them. So get ready for the opportunities, but don't get discouraged because they don't show up on day 5 or day 30 even, right? This is a lesson that I've had to learn over and over again, and new opportunities presented themselves to me last month, and I'm ready for them, and they're fabulous. Yes, Russ, I believe everyone has suffered from imposter syndrome at some point in their life, right? I used to have terrible FOMO, fear of missing out. I had to follow my colleagues to every conference, buy every program they had, just everything that they were doing. I was following along because I have this FOMO. I am so happy to say that my FOMO left last year and I no longer have to do what everyone else is doing. That has reduced my imposter syndrome, right? So I don't have to be like everybody else. I don't have to go where everybody else goes. I don't have to use the same products that my colleagues all use. Although StreamYard is pretty amazing. And if you want to stream, you definitely should try StreamYard. I'll drop an affiliate link or ask me for it, and I'll give you a free 15-minute tutorial if you sign up with my link, because it is awesome. Anyways, my journey and my path have also changed. So we have to be open and receptive that even as business owners, our path might change. The products, the services that we offer might change. We might need to write a book, and then we might take that off our list. We might want to do webinars, and then we might say, nope, I don't want to do those anymore. Linda says the key to is recognizing the opportunity when it shows up. I think the key is that, Linda, and I'd like to say, be ready, right? It's one thing to see the opportunity, but you have to be ready. And I mean, mentally, physically, emotionally, be ready for whatever that opportunity is. I was ready for these new opportunities last month where it didn't stress me out, right? Because having an opportunity in front of you, but not being ready, and then you're stressing out about how you're going to deliver or how you're going to accept that opportunity. Um, so what I'm going to do is I have 5 more tips on how you can overcome imposter syndrome. And I want to have some conversations over in the, I don't know where to point to, over in the LinkedIn audio event. I dropped the link. Let's look. I dropped it right before we went live. Yep, it's right there. Also, if you can't find it, you go to the homepage and then look for the, what did I call it? I called it the LinkedIn Living Room, LinkedIn audio event. I'd love for you to jump over there. It's about 12:18 right now. I want you to come over, share your stories, ask questions. I'll go over how LinkedIn audio events work. So if it's your first time, don't be afraid. I'll do like a 45-second, this is how it works. So you can get comfortable coming over to LinkedIn audio events and maybe one day hosting your own LinkedIn audio event. So you guys, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say thank you all for attending. And I hope that you're going to jump over to the audio event so we can have some more questions and share our stories of how we overcame imposter syndrome. And I'm going to share one more link before we sign off. Boom, boom, boom. Paste it there. These are some resources, and I have to paste it in both places. And then I'm also going to share, like I said, if I can find it real quick. I didn't have it queued up. My bad. That's okay. Let's find the StreamYard. The StreamYard link. I'm going to put that over here. And then anyone who is interested, bam, resources and StreamYard link. So thank you for joining 15 Minutes of Fame. You can find me here every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time with a quick tip, trend, or thought of the week on LinkedIn, business development, and professional growth. I'll see you over in the LinkedIn audio event. Give me 2 minutes. Ciao.